Have you ever wondered why South Africa is taking Israel to the International Court of Justice? It's a question that's been making headlines, stirring up a whirlwind of controversy and debate. It's not just about politics or diplomacy, but something deeper, more intricate. It's a story that unravels the complex mesh of history, human rights, and public opinion. So what exactly is driving this bold move by South Africa? Well, stick around as we delve into the 5 reasons behind this escalating international legal battle. Let's rewind the clock and look at the historical context. As we delve into the past, we find that South Africa and Israel have a complex relationship shaped largely by the shadow of apartheid. During this era, Israel was one of the few nations that maintained ties with apartheid South Africa, a fact that still resonates with many South Africans today. South Africa's historical struggle against racial segregation has fostered a deep empathy towards the Palestinian cause. The nation sees parallels between its own past and the current situation in the Palestinian territories, leading to a sense of solidarity that transcends political alliances. This empathy is woven into the fabric of South Africa's foreign policy, influencing its stance on the Israel-Palestine issue. However, it's important to remember that historical context is just one piece of the puzzle. While history has a role, it is not the only factor. There's more to the story. Now let's dive into the world of political influence. South Africa's decision to take Israel to the International Court of Justice is not just based on historical context, it's also deeply rooted in the realm of politics. South Africa has always been a fervent advocate for human rights and justice on the global stage. This stance has helped shape its foreign policy and relationships with other nations. For instance, South Africa's ties with nations that share similar views on human rights have been a driving force in their decision. Their alliances are not merely for economic or strategic benefits, but are also based on shared principles and values. South Africa's decision can also be seen as an assertion of its role as a regional power in Africa, seeking to influence the international political narrative on issues it deems important. This move is not just a statement against Israel's actions, but also a reaffirmation of South Africa's belief in justice and human rights. As you can see, politics plays a significant role, but let's not stop there. Human rights, a universal concern, is a central factor in this case. South Africa, a nation that has itself been through the crucible of gross human rights violations, is acutely sensitive to such issues. The country's decision to take Israel to the International Court of Justice is strongly influenced by allegations of human rights abuses linked to the Israel-Palestine conflict. Reports of violence, displacement, and restrictions on movement have drawn international attention, and South Africa, with its history of championing equality and justice, finds these allegations deeply troubling. The country's stance is that justice must be served, and those responsible for such alleged violations held accountable. This commitment to human rights is not just about South Africa's past, but also about its present and future as a beacon of justice in the international community. Human rights concerns are a driving factor, but there are 2 more reasons to explore. Finally, let's explore the diplomatic strategy and public opinion. South Africa's diplomatic strategy has always been rooted in the principles of justice and equality. By taking Israel to the International Court of Justice, South Africa sends a clear message to the world. It stands against any form of oppression, regardless of where it occurs. This move not only solidifies South Africa's position in global politics, but also sets a precedent for other nations to follow, encouraging them to use legal avenues to address injustices. Now let's shift our focus to the role of public opinion. South African citizens have a long history of standing against injustice, a legacy that continues to influence their perspective on international issues. Their collective voice through protests, social media campaigns, and public debates has shown a strong disapproval of Israel's actions. This public sentiment has undoubtedly played a significant role in shaping the government's decision to take legal action against Israel. Moreover, the government's decision aligns with the people's desire for a world where human rights are respected. By taking Israel to court, South Africa is not just representing its own interests, but is also echoing the voices of its people who have consistently advocated for justice and equality. So as we've seen, a multitude of reasons have led South Africa to take this bold step. Let's quickly recap the major points of our discussion. We've delved into South Africa's motivations, starting from the historical context, moving on to political influence, then human rights concerns, and wrapping up with diplomatic strategy and public opinion. These 5 reasons have collectively contributed to South Africa's decision to take Israel to the International Court of Justice. With this, we conclude our exploration of South Africa's decision to take Israel to court. Thanks for watching, and remember to subscribe for more intriguing political analysis.